From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Monday, October 19th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Have a procedure and protocol for pretty much everything.
More IPS students are heading back to the classroom today. We're live with Superintendent Alicia Johnson as the district moves to the next stage of reopening. Those students are going to need the rain gear to start their day. The WRTV storm team is breaking down if they'll need the rain gear for their trip home.
We even bought our new rug. We got our Wi-Fi turned on.
This couple found the perfect rental home, but the person who rented it to them was not the real owner. We're working for you to help you avoid a similar situation. And I want to wish you a good morning from our team. After months of planning, Raphael, thousands of IPS students who have been learning remotely will return to the classroom today.
WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more details behind this decision. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So yeah, they are going to start phasing in grades 4 through 12 this week. We told you about 2 weeks ago that pre-K through 3rd grade went back. They're going Monday through Friday. So I'm here this morning with Superintendent Alicia Johnson. So tell me, what was it like when those younger kids went to school, and did you learn anything new now that these 4th through 12th graders are going in?
Good morning. Yeah, well, in one word, it was very exciting. A lot of energy to have our students back into the building a couple of weeks ago, so we're excited to bring the rest of our students back today. The week went smoothly, and so we believe a lot of the protocols we had in place are right and appropriate for right now. We'll be watching traffic flow as we have a lot more families driving their children to school, so that'll be something that we're watching around our campuses.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, you want to watch out for those buses and other people, kids walking to school, and parents bringing their kids to school. We do know that IPS is giving all their students one reusable mask, and they are also asking parents to do COVID-19 checks every day before they come into school. For more information on that, you can go to myips.org. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much. A soggy start to the work week. And Lauren, we want to remind all folks this morning with those extra buses and extra kids walking to school or those buses rolling on the neighborhoods to just slow down. It may be difficult to see them because of the rain.
Yeah, especially if they're out of the bus stop this morning when it's still dark outside. They'll want to grab the rain gear and be careful out there, Todd. But will they need it when they come home from school today?
You definitely need it more this morning than later on this afternoon. The rain's going to kind of taper off, but it's still going to be some scattered showers around this afternoon. And I'll mention the leaves out there as well, and the shine on the roads with this rain that's fallen. The leaves could be very, very slippery. So as you're walking to the bus stop, you could step on some of those leaves and you could easily slide. And same thing if you're in your car or coming to a stop sign, just be really, really careful out there. This is the most rain we've seen during the morning hours in quite some time. A live look at Storm Team radar, and you could see the heaviest and the most steady rainfall still in southern locations here from Bloomington to Nashville over towards Columbus. Some lighter rain as you work your way from Franklin over towards Martinsville. Some pockets of moderate rainfall here in Rushville over towards Connorsville and in around the metro area. Light rain continues to fall across much of Marion County, and then you slide to the north and it's still damp, but the rain's just a little more spotty in nature here in northern locations, and this will continue to move through. So it's a very wet start to our day. As we get into the afternoon hours, we'll taper more of the steady rain off to just some scattered showers. Thankfully, we're above freezing, so this is just rain, but you will need the heavier jacket with temperatures in the 40s this morning. And honestly, not much warming goes into the remainder of the day. We're in the 40s at least through the noon hour, and then eventually low 50s later on this afternoon. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's get a look right now. This traffic alert at the South Split. Our photographer Jonathan Christian's at the scene here, showing you how they're clearing this semi that was involved in a crash at the South Split. It's in the left lane as you're traveling northbound on I-65. You can see people out there in the road working right now, so take it slow as you head through the South Split. Stay out of the left lane, especially as you're coming off I-70 from the west side. We'll continue to monitor this and let you know when all lanes are back open. Raphael?
Good morning to Greenwood, Lebanon, and Martinsville on this Monday. And now to the latest on the pandemic and its impact right here on our state. This morning, state health officials confirmed more than 1,600 new coronavirus cases. Now, that's the lowest number of new cases over the past 4 days. Since the pandemic began, nearly 148,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. State health officials also report 19 more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Now, that's the lowest number of new deaths since last Thursday. Since the pandemic began, more than 3,700 Hoosiers have died with the virus. This morning, we're also keeping a very close eye on hospital resources in light of the pandemic. Right now, a little more than 35% of the state's ICU beds are available. Meanwhile, more than of the state's ventilators have become available. At this hour, nearly 80% are available for use statewide.
And health officials want you to sleeve up and get a flu shot to help protect against the flu this year. They say this year it's more important than ever to help avoid a twindemic with COVID-19. All throughout this month, the Marion County Health Department is hosting these low-cost flu vaccines at multiple locations. Sunday, St. Gabriel Catholic Church was the site of one of those clinics. The church has hosted these flu shot clinics for several years now. The parish nurse says now it's more important than ever to be able to offer flu shots to the community.
Here in St. Gabriel Parish, we have about 60% Latino, as well as the surrounding community here over on the west side off of 34th Street. And so we really feel that we need to offer them this chance and opportunity. And with the COVID-19, we want to make sure that everyone gets a flu shot that can possibly get one.
The next flu shot clinic will be Thursday at Englewood Christian Church on North Rural Street from 4 to 6 p.m. This is available on a walk-in basis. So here's what you need to know to get a flu shot from the Marion County Health Department. The cost again is $20. Children under the age of 2 can get a flu shot for free. Medicare and Medicaid are accepted. The health department is also hosting weekly flu shot clinics by appointment at its 3 main district health office locations. So to schedule an appointment, call 317-221-5700.
Lord, for the second time in a week, an inmate at the Marion County Jail has died. Here are the details as we know them this morning. Investigators say that 51-year-old James Smith was found unresponsive early Saturday morning and pronounced dead a short time later. Officials say another inmate stabbed him. Deputies said that Smith had been transferred to multiple housing locations for using racially charged language toward fellow inmates. At the time of his death, Smith had been assigned to a single cell.
Well, this morning, the first federal execution of a woman in more than 60 years is scheduled to happen in Terre Haute. Lisa Montgomery is convicted of strangling a pregnant woman and then kidnapping her unborn baby. Montgomery is scheduled to be executed December 8th. She'll be the 9th inmate to be put to death since federal executions resumed back in July. The Trump administration resumed federal executions after that 20-year hiatus.
Lauren, now to a story of hope during this pandemic. Many businesses, as you know, have been forced to close down because of financial matters. But one woman has managed to open 2 businesses since March. Kayla Trammell is the owner of Radiant Skin in Zionsville and now a new location in Danville. She tells us business has managed to stay booming even through this pandemic. Opening the second business is a dream come true for this registered nurse.
I had a vision and I told my husband and I wanted to run with it. So from end of 2017 to beginning of 2020, it was just me. And then the beginning of 2020, I knew I was kind of ready to expand. And then February signed a lease, March got shut down. And then kind of from there, since then, when we opened in May of 2020, when we got the go-ahead from Governor Holcomb, it's kind of exploded.
All the best to her. Kayla attributes much of her success to loyal customers who have been patient during this pandemic. So, you know, Election Day is now more than 2 weeks away. Ahead this morning, the deadline happening this week if you plan on voting by mail. But first, let's check your forecast on this soggy Monday morning. Todd?
And Storm Team Radar very active here this morning. Raphael's, we've been dealing with a steady rainfall throughout these early morning hours, tapering off just a little bit to the north, but still steady in southern locations. So do you need the umbrella or not? Well, you definitely need it this morning. As we get into the afternoon hours, the showers become a little more spotty, but they're still present. And then this evening, it's needed once again as rain chances will ramp back up. We'll detail today and look ahead to the rest of the week coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a couple minutes.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We are monitoring another crash as you're heading into the downtown area. Be advised as you're traveling southbound on I-65 from the north and northwest sides here. We do have 2 right lanes blocked for a crash here at West Street and MLK. We also have a rainy morning commute, as you can see, so use caution as you're heading into work or school this morning, and we'll keep you updated. Let's go to Democracy 2020 now. The election is now just 15 days away, and this week more early voting sites will open across the state of Indiana. 27 million ballots have already been cast across the country. That's 20% of the total votes cast in the 2016 election. Here at home in Indiana, more than 591,000 people have voted in person or by mail. That's according to the Secretary of State's office. Now, the early voting runs through November 2nd, and reminder, Election Day is November 3rd. And if you do want to vote by mail, you must request your ballot by October 22nd. That is this Thursday. You're encouraged to do so as soon as possible. When it comes to returning your ballot, officials must receive it by noon on Election Day. If you're concerned about your ballot getting through the mail in time, you can always drop it off in person. Raphael?
WRTV is your source for everything that you need to know before Election Day. Just go to Vote in 2020, our digital section on our website. Financial relief could be coming to thousands of Hoosier families and Americans across the country, depending on how Congress votes on 2 stimulus bills. The Republican-led Senate plans to vote Tuesday on a standalone Paycheck Protection Program bill helping small businesses. Wednesday, the Senate will vote on a $500 billion stimulus bill that Democrats blocked just last month. That bill is unlikely to pass in the House, as Democrats have been pushing for a much larger package. On Sunday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she issued a 48-hour deadline to approve a stimulus deal before the election.
Saying to them, we have to freeze the design on some of these things. Are we going with it or not? And what is the language? They took out 55% of the language that we had there for testing and tracing.
Speaker Pelosi goes on to say that negotiations with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin would still continue after Tuesday if a deal is not reached, but aid to Americans would be delayed even further.
And Raphael, we are finding more positions that are open through our Hiring Hoosiers campaign.
So here's a look at a few central Indiana companies that are hiring right now at this moment. Trilogy Health Services needs dietary aides to work in Noblesville as well as in Fishers there in Hamilton County. A culinary apprenticeship program is being offered by the company. The goal is to help you become a certified lead cook, which will assist you with your dietary aide position.
The O'Reilly Auto Parts Distribution Center in Brownsburg needs employees for the warehouse. The starting pay for most warehouse positions is $14.65 an hour.
Hiring Hoosiers partner Therion is looking for picker-packers to work in Plainfield in Hendricks County. Pay is between $13.50 and $14.50 an hour.
The Job Center staffing has several job openings here in Indianapolis. They include picker-packers, assembly workers, forklift operators, and more.
Our Hiring Hoosiers team has multiple ways for you to find open jobs. First, go to hiringhoosiers.com and look at the job board. You can also check out the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. In both locations, we have dozens of jobs for you to check out right now on this Monday morning. But first, before you head out the door, don't forget that handy umbrella. Todd Clausen.
Yeah, you know, if you walk out the door, I think you'll quickly turn around and grab the umbrella. Still a pretty steady rain falling across most of the area, especially south of Indianapolis. And I think that's really the case throughout the entire day. The further south you are, the better potential you'll have of the showers that'll linger into the afternoon hours. Ellettsville to Bloomington down towards Lake Monroe. Some pretty good rain. Southern portions of Brown County, really from Nashville down towards Story. And then eventually, as you work your way into portions of Jackson County, some heavy rainfall. The same for Bedford to Mitchell, and then to Medora over towards the Seymour area. We slide to the east, some pretty good rain still in Rushville and Connorsville. And then you look at I-70, and as you work your way north of I-70, the rain diminishes a little bit towards the Anderson and Muncie area. Still a light rain falling in downtown Indianapolis. I just went outside, and it's a cold rain. I can testify to that. And then to the north, still damp with some spotty showers. Kokomo over to the Delphi area and to Lafayette. And so we just have to get used to this rainfall. We haven't really seen a day like this in quite some time. Most of the rain we've seen the past couple days have been with the front going through, so it's kind of a quick burst of rainfall, and then it was over. So this is kind of prolonged here this morning, and as we expand out, there's more rain back to the west as well as some snow. We won't get into the snow because our temperatures will be well above freezing, but it's just going to be very unsettled. So rain chances are the highest here this morning. They'll diminish into the early afternoon hours, but still present, so there will still be the chance of some scattered showers around, and then they'll start to ramp back up later on this evening as we get another push or another wave of rain making its way through the area. Here's that break that we get into in the afternoon hours with mostly cloudy skies, some spotty showers around, and as we work our way into the evening hours, we get another push of rain that's going to come in again, especially south of Indianapolis. The further north you are, still dripping, but you don't that steady rain, and those scattered showers will stick around into your Tuesday morning commute before they finally taper off tomorrow afternoon. We've already seen over a half an inch of rain in some areas, and some locations, especially to the south, will pick up maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain before this starts to wrap up. So it's a good old-fashioned soaking for us, and one, honestly, that we really need. The timing's good here as we get into the work week and not having to deal with this on the weekend. 40s and 50s right now. Temperatures today don't really do a whole lot. We get up to about 51 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Temperatures a little bit warmer tomorrow as we approach 60 degrees. The best weather will be Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday may not be the brightest day for us yet with mostly cloudy skies, but up to 72 degrees. Thursday, by far the best day, 81 with sunshine. Friday, we start off sunny, then a front comes through with another round of showers, maybe the chance of a storm, and then for the weekend, it looks dry at this point, but cooler temperatures in the 50s and 60s.
All right, Todd, thanks. I want to take you back to the North Split where we're still monitoring that overturned semi blocking the lanes from westbound I-70 to southbound I-65. Drivers who normally travel through that area will need to utilize the collector ramp that runs right along the side of those lanes. And another traffic alert in the same spot. We just got word of another crash right before this overturned semi here. That's blocking 2 left lanes of traffic. So just be aware of that as you're traveling through the area. Be prepared to take it slow as you head through downtown this morning. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Raphael?
So new parents are facing a lot of conflicting advice when it comes to introducing foods to their infant. Do you introduce foods that could cause an allergy early, or do you just simply wait? A new study says that introducing gluten early, between 4 and 6 months of age, could reduce the likelihood of your child developing celiac disease in the future. Now, celiac disease isn't the same as a food allergy, but it is an immune reaction to eating gluten. Gluten is found in things like wheat and barley. We talked to a doctor with Riley Children's Hospital about this new study and what it means for both doctors and parents.
This study is interesting because they differed from those previous studies in that they recommended a higher amount of gluten for kids to eat, and then also introduced it at an earlier age. My biggest takeaway from the study is that we just need more work to be done. Now, each child is different and may be ready for complementary foods at different times, and complementary foods would be anything other than breast milk or formula.
So Dr. Sparks reminds parents that this is just one study, and your best bet is to follow the recommendations of the American Academy of Pediatrics. And remember to ask your doctor if you have a concern about those complementary foods and food allergies in your child.
Looking for a new rental? Coming up, one couple's warning so you don't waste your money.
Break out the bongos. All right. Guess who's live on GMA? It's Oscar winner turned author Matthew McConaughey. Lauren will be watching. Everyone's favorite Texan has written a new memoir called Green Lights, and he's telling all to the GMA gang coming up right here on WRTV. And a big good morning on this wet Monday morning to Westfield, Whitestown, and Waverly. All great places to call home, whether it's raining or not. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
The time right now is 6:24. It's Monday morning. Raphael, let's chat about what is trending at 6.
So I want to talk about an amazing reunion in the Sunshine State, Lauren. So break out. You're going to need like a little cloth or something because this may make you cry, right? So after 7 months apart, right? 7 months apart, 80-year-old Joseph Loreth is now reunited with his wife of 60 years. Her name is Eve. Check this out. They both live at an assisted living facility in Florida. Joseph underwent surgery in March and then rehab, but because of the pandemic, they were not able to see each other until Joseph finally recovered 215 days later.
Wow.
Look at that.
Aww.
I want to be married for 60 years. I'm only there at 29, so I look forward to that. But what an amazing, wow.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love that. I'm glad they're finally back
love
together.
it, love it, love it.
Love it. All right, well, check this out. Congratulations go out to one of our amazing video editors here at WRTV, Mr. Paul Zink. Paul proposed to the love of his life, Tristan, over the weekend, and we are always so excited to welcome new people to the morning family. So welcome, and Paul, way to go, dude. That's awesome. He did it.
Way to go. The studio audience is applauding like never before. Paul, congratulations. And on this Monday morning, we're enjoying the fall foliage in Indianapolis, though it may be wet out there this morning. This is a view of the Fall Creek Upper Loop Trail when it's not raining. A big thank you to William Gwynn for the picture. We'll continue to share these seasonal changes in your neighborhoods every day for the next several weeks. And Todd Clausen, if you head outside this morning, it won't look as pretty, but you know, there's something nice to be said about the rain, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we need the rainfall. There's no doubt about that. It was one of those mornings I could hear the rain when my alarm went off, and I just kind of wanted to stay in bed for a little bit longer. But as you do get out and about, just know we showed you those fall foliage pictures. The leaves coming down, and with the wet rain, some of those leaves could create slick conditions on the roadways and also on the sidewalks if you're going to be walking around. So keep that in mind. You can see some pretty good rain still from Bloomington over towards the Greensburg area. It tapers off to more scattered showers as you work your way to the north, but remember to have your lights on as well as those wipers going at a pretty good clip here this morning. You will need to have the wipers going throughout the morning and then possible throughout the afternoon as we taper off to scattered showers, but then rain chances ramp back up later on this evening. We'll talk more about the timeline hour by hour for you using TrueCast coming up in just a couple minutes.
Todd, thank you. So imagine moving into a rental home and then learning a week later you need to move out because you rented it from a scammer. And working for you, our John Matarese sees if there's any way those folks can stay, and he has a warning for all renters.
Rental homes are in short supply right now, and many renters grab the first one that they find. But one young couple learned you need to be very careful that it's not a scam. Dila and Gigi Nadai found the perfect rental home.
We even bought our new rug. We got our Wi-Fi turned on.
This cute little cottage.
We found this apartment on Craigslist, this house. We came and we called the landlord. They told us to meet him over here to look at it.
They met the landlord, signed this lease, and paid him a $500 money order deposit. But days after moving in, they got a visit from the real landlord.
They were coming here to walk us out. We didn't even know what was going on.
Turns out the lease and rental company were all fake. The real owner wanted them out and was turning off their water.
The water they turned the water off.
It's called the house rental scam, and I tell you, it's getting slicker and slicker. Scammers will find a legitimate house or apartment for rent. They'll repost the ad on Craigslist, then they'll give victims a phony lease to sign and take their deposit money.
It just feels like we're just lost. There's nothing we can do.
Look like they can do nothing, so.
That's what it looks like.
Dila and Gigi went to the police, but learned they're probably out of luck.
It's a civil situation right now. I'm hoping that the landlord and the tenants that are currently living there will let them stay there.
We contacted the owners, where a man told us they will now let the couple stay 30 days to fill out an application and submit a new deposit. But Dila doesn't know if they can afford it now.
I don't know what we're going to do. You know, they got our money.
Bottom line, be suspicious if the rent seems too cheap for the neighborhood or if the landlord doesn't have the keys to the property. That way, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
So for more cost-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website. Just go to WRTV.com.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. A student at IU, a former football player at Carmel High School, is dead after a shooting in Alabama. Police in Tuscaloosa say that 19-year-old Skylar Bradley died Saturday following a shooting that happened Friday night. Investigators say the gunfire happened after an argument at a bar close to the University of Alabama campus.
Purdue's head football coach has tested positive for COVID-19. Jeff Brom's positive test comes less than a week before Purdue's first game of the season at home against Iowa. The university says the presumptive positive test came during Purdue's daily COVID-19 testing on Sunday. Purdue says it's now waiting on a second test for confirmation. Brom is currently isolating at home.
Major League Baseball's World Series is now set. The Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Atlanta Braves 4-3 last night to take the National League pennant in 7 games. The Dodgers will meet the American League champion Tampa Bay Rays. Game 1 will be tomorrow night, and due to the pandemic, all of the games will be played on a neutral field in Arlington, Texas. On this Monday morning, your lawn, your vehicle being showered with much needed rain this morning here in central Indiana.
Yeah, we don't have an active radar very often, it seems like, Todd, but we're finally getting some much needed rain here across central Indiana today.
Yeah, you know, this is the most prolonged period of rain we've seen in quite some time. A lot of the rain we've seen, and it hasn't been much over the last 2 months, has been just quickly passing through as a front's made its way through central Indiana. So this is just what the doctor ordered for many of the lawns across the area, especially here in southern locations. By the time this wraps up, you'll see well over an inch of rain from Bedford to Bloomington to just south of Nashville now into portions of northern Jackson County. Seymour, some pretty good heavy rainfall. Columbus, and then eventually towards North Vernon and Greensburg as well. Some heavier downpours over towards Connorsville, Rushville, back into Shelbyville. It's more of a light rain that's falling, but still pretty steady. And then in and around the metro area, still a light rain falling that extends up into Hamilton County as well. Good morning, Carmel, as well as Noblesville, up into the Cicero area. Some spotty showers near Crawfordsville. And then they become a little spottier to the north. But even here in these northern locations, you're not seeing the steady rainfall. It's still very damp. It's going to be dreary this morning as well. And there's more rain to come as this first wave goes through. Now, as we transition into the afternoon hours, I don't think we see as steady of a rain as we are right now this morning, but we're still going to be dealing with that spotty shower, so have the umbrella handy from start to finish. We're above freezing, that's the good news, but it's still cool out there. You'll definitely need a heavier jacket with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And the problem today, not only the rainfall, but the temperatures really don't warm at all. Look at that. By the noon hour, still only at 48 degrees with highs today, Lauren, only into the low 50s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take another live look from our photographer, Jonathan Christians, here near the South Split, as we've been working to move this semi-crash in the left lane of northbound I-65. So just be aware as you're heading through that area, we still have a few vehicles out there. He thinks this should be clearing soon as they've moved that out of the roadway. So just be aware of that. If you're coming off eastbound I-70, stay out of that left lane, scoot over to the right, and be aware as you're merging of this issue. Some new COVID-19 cases continue to increase right now across the state. Indiana is now reporting 4,000 new cases of the virus over this past weekend. The State Department of Health is confirming 1,629 new cases on Sunday. This after another record high of more than 2,500 was set Saturday. More than 147,000 total COVID-19 cases have been reported in Indiana so far. The Health Department is also reporting 19 additional COVID-related deaths. So that pushes Indiana past the 3,700 deaths mark since the pandemic began. Raphael?
Good morning to Muncie, Anderson, and Tipton. The COVID-19 pandemic has left millions of Americans unable to make their mortgage or rent payments. In September, more than 6 million Americans failed to make payments on their homes. That's according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's Research Institute for Housing Americans. Last month, the CDC issued an emergency moratorium on evictions for people making less than $99,000 a year. But that ends on December the 31st. Without another stimulus aid bill from Congress, some economists worry these payments could leave more Americans homeless in the new year. If you need help paying rent, there is help available right now. Indiana reopened its rental assistance portal. It's for everyone in Indiana except those who live in Marion County. There's $15 million in that program right now, and there is no deadline to apply. Now, for more information on this statewide program, go to their website, which is indianahousingnow.org. Now, if you live in Marion County, there is a separate program. You can find more information on that help by going to indyrent.org.
At 6:33, the surge in COVID-19 cases likely to be a big topic for the last 2 weeks of the presidential campaign. President Trump and challenger Joe Biden both talked about it during weekend campaign stops. At a rally out in Nevada, the president criticized Biden for saying he would take action on the virus based on recommendations of doctors. The president also praised his own handling of the economy. The latest update shows 25 million Americans are currently receiving unemployment benefits.
Listen to the scientists. If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression instead of we're like a rocket ship.
Things are getting worse. He continues to lie to us about the circumstances. Experts say we're likely to lose as many as 200,000 additional lives nationwide between now and the end of the year. All because this president cares more about his Park Avenue perspective on the world, the stock market, than he does about you.
The two candidates are scheduled to hold one more debate set for this Thursday.
It will be the first time for some have seen their classrooms in more than 7 months. Next, we hear from the superintendent as IPS gets ready to welcome more students back to their school buildings. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning. Lauren and I will say welcome you back to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning. Lauren, it's been more than half a year for some IPS students. They've not been inside their classrooms since March. That's about to change this morning.
Yeah, Raphael, IPS is moving forward with its reopening plan, and our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with more details. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. You're right, Raphael. It's been about since March, since most IPS students were in the classroom, and today, now 4th through 12th graders are going to be making their way back into the classroom, either full-time or partially. And I'm here this morning with Superintendent Alicia Johnson. So we do know 2 weeks ago, pre-K through 3rd grade went in, and now we've got these 4th through 12th graders. Tell me what you guys learned from those first round of kids going in.
You know, we felt really good about our procedures and protocols that we had in place when we had our youngest students back in the building. So we think we just need to make sure that we are executing on those this week as we welcome back the rest of our students.
Okay, and so tell me a little bit about these screenings. You're asking parents to screen their kids before they come to school.
That's right. We just want to be sure that we're being extra vigilant about health and safety for our staff and our students, and so that parents are just checking for any symptoms, and if anything pops up, that they keep their child at home and don't send them to school.
Okay, and are you wanting parents to temperature test their kids every day, or is it just monitoring those symptoms of COVID-19?
Primarily monitoring those symptoms, and obviously if something seems to be there, checking temperatures, calling the doctor if necessary, just to be sure we're keeping everyone safe and well.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and excited for the school year to be back in session. So we do know that those kids pre-K now through 6th grade are going to be in school full-time, and then 7th through 12th are going to be on that hybrid schedule. And so for more information on IPS's plans, you can go to myips.org. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. And just to remind you of what Kelsey just said a moment ago, that IPS will be operating school today. And of course, she just mentioned that the schedule for pre-K through 6 is in class, and grades 7 through 12 will attend on a hybrid schedule. Lauren?
Raphael, we know some students out in Hancock County will see some changes to their schedules starting today. Greenfield Central High School students are still on a hybrid schedule, but today they are adjusting their class blocks, and starting 2 weeks from now, they will be attending in person now 4 days a week. Meanwhile, Southern Hancock schools will be on a full-time virtual schedule all this week. The superintendent made that decision to keep students home after some schools in New Pal saw an increase in COVID-19 cases this month. As of now, Southern Hancock students are scheduled to return to the classroom next Monday, October 26th. And we're going to get an update today on the number of coronavirus cases reported in all of Indiana's schools. Those are updated every Monday by the state health department. And as of last Monday, the state was reporting just under 2,400 cases among students, along with 481 teachers and 542 staff members who tested positive. However, the true numbers are likely even higher because the state says about 1/3 of Indiana schools have not reported any coronavirus data yet to health officials this school year.
While many businesses are struggling or closing during this pandemic, one local woman is making it her mission to hire Hoosiers. Next, how she's working to thrive during a difficult economy. This morning, our Todd Clausing is making it his business to track all that rain in central Indiana.
And Raphael, there's been a lot of it, over half an inch of rain in the airport in Indianapolis, even more here in southern locations. Tapering off a bit at this hour to the north, but still a steady rainfall here from Bloomington to Greensburg. You definitely need to have the umbrella this morning. The rain becomes a little more spotty this afternoon, but it then ramps back up later on this evening. We'll break down today ahead for you as well, coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Monitoring several crashes for you heading into the downtown area this morning, including 2 here at the North Split. This is an overturned semi we've been monitoring. It's blocking all lanes of westbound I-70 to southbound I-65. You'll need to use the collector ramp as a detour. Just before this crash, we have another wreck blocking 2 lanes of traffic. So just use caution as you're heading out there this morning. We have wet roads. That's something you'll need to keep in mind as you're heading out there for your morning commute. Well, the pandemic, Raphael, has caused a lot of economic pain this year. We know many businesses have had to close their doors permanently.
But one woman right here in central Indiana has managed to open not just 1, but 2 businesses. Our Troy Washington tells us how she is pursuing her dream. At the same time, she's also hiring Hoosiers.
Kayla Trammell is a registered nurse by trade, but her passion is skincare.
I had a vision and I told my husband and I wanted to run with it.
It just so happened that as her dream was picking up steam, the coronavirus crisis was also gaining momentum.
So from end of 2017 to beginning of 2020, it was just me. And then the beginning of 2020, I knew I was kind of ready to expand. And then February signed a lease, March got shut down. And then kind of from there, since then, when we opened in May of 2020, when we got the go-ahead from Governor Holcomb, it's kind of exploded.
And now she's hiring Hoosiers in the process. She started in Zionsville and just last week opened another Radiant Skin location in Danville.
So we opened up a second location, and I went from January being a 1-woman team to now 9 of us.
She says the fact that people have to wear masks and the frequent Zoom calls has kept her business booming.
A lot of people come in and say, on Zoom calls, they look at themselves and they notice like, oh, I need to get that taken care of. Or, they'll have a mask on and start noticing from the eyes up, like coming in for Botox and stuff like that. So the mask and Zoom calls have made it busy too.
When she wasn't allowed to do in-person visits, she provided at-home kits, and that helped, but she attributes much of her success to loyal customers who have been really patient during this pandemic. Working for you, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you, and good luck to her. October just happens to be National Women's Small Business Month. We have resources that could help you keep your business open. You can find them right now inside of this story at our website, WRTV.com.
Raphael, thanks. Doctors continue to stress the importance of getting a flu shot as soon as possible to help hospitals avoid another pandemic on top of COVID-19. So the Marion County Public Health Department is hosting another flu shot clinic on Sunday. They're doing these clinics at multiple locations for the rest of October. The CDC recommends the flu shot for everyone 6 months and older, especially pregnant women and people over the age of 65, and anyone with certain medical conditions. Sunday's clinic was held at St. Gabriel Catholic Church.
Here in St. Gabriel Parish, we have about 60% Latino, as well as a surrounding community here over on the west side off of 34th Street. And so we really feel that we need to offer them this chance and opportunity. And with the COVID-19, we want to make sure that everyone gets a flu shot that can possibly get one.
Flu shots through the health department are $20 for children under 2. They're free. Medicare and Medicaid are also accepted. So the next flu shot clinic will be held this Thursday at Englewood Christian Church along North Rural Street from 4 to 6 p.m. It's available on a walk-in basis. You can also get a flu shot appointment at the Marion County Public Health Department's 3 main district health offices. You can schedule an appointment by calling the number on your screen. It's 317-221-5700. The time right now is 6:47 on For Monday, let's get a check of our forecast right now with Todd Clausen as the rain is coming down, Todd.
You know, it's been coming down for a while now, well over a half an inch of rain. Lauren, you mentioned all the accidents out there, and I can only imagine it's because of some of this rainfall. We haven't seen this much in a while, so you have the dirt and the grime on the roadways, the oil, and then you have the leaves out there as well. Don't forget about the leaves being slick as they continue to fall here across central Indiana. Some decent rain still in Nashville to Columbus down into Seymour, where it's the heaviest and the most steady, into North Vernon and Greensburg as well. We'll slide to the north. It's lighter but still steady on I-70 all the way from Indy to the Richmond area and off into Ohio. Rushville, some light rain in and around the metro area here. The light to moderate rain continues to fall. It tapers a little bit towards Danville and the Brownsburg area. And then as we slide to the north, we've tapered it off to just some scattered showers that are going to be around. But really throughout the entire day, even though it won't be raining at all times, we're still going to overall have that damp feel. And I do think it's a day where you want to have the umbrella or at least the hooded jacket with you at all times, because this is the biggest wave of steady rainfall that's moving through right now. You see the back edge of it now making its way into western Indiana, but off to our west, there's still several systems or areas of precipitation that have to come through. It won't be snow when it arrives. Temperatures will be above freezing, thankfully, but we're going to keep rain chances in the forecast throughout the entire day. You do notice they decrease a bit heading into the mid-afternoon hours, and then they'll start to ramp back up as we head into the evening hours. So let me walk you through on TrueCast hour by hour throughout the remainder of the day. The timestamps there in the top right-hand portion of your screen. And we get into just mostly cloudy skies with some hit or miss showers throughout the middle half of the day and even into the early evening hours. But then once the sun sets, we get another push of some decent rainfall that's going to come in, especially here in southern locations where you've already seen over an inch of rain, and you're going to see even more. And you notice these showers linger into this time tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. Tuesday. Still some scattered rain around, and it's probably not until mid-afternoon tomorrow that we finally start to dry things out. Not concerned about any flooding, though, across the area because it's been so dry. The ground's really going to absorb it. Any flooding that you do see would be on some local streets with leaves that are clogging the storm drains. So if you have one of those in front of your house, maybe a good idea to sweep those leaves away and let the water drain. But rainfall totals on top of what we've already seen. So this is additional rainfall. Not a ton to the north, but you notice another half an inch to maybe an inch of rain there in southern locations with that push that comes in here later on this evening. Coats needed throughout the day. We're in the 40s and 50s right now. We're not going to warm a whole lot. Only about 51 here in the city with those periods of rain, breezy conditions as well. Then overnight tonight, temperatures drop down to 44 degrees with scattered rain showers. Tomorrow, we start with that rain in the morning, and then as we get into the afternoon hours, we finally start to dry things out. A little warmer tomorrow at 61 degrees. Wednesday, 72 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. So it starts a warming trend. By far, if you want to start planning ahead, Thursday is the best weather day of the week. Sunshine, 81 degrees. Friday, 75. Cold front comes through late Friday, though. That's our next chance of decent rain after we get through tomorrow. That front goes through, and then for the weekend, you notice cooler temperatures in the 50s and 60s. But at this point, the weekend looks to be dry. Lauren?
All right, Todd. Well, as you're heading out on the roads right now, we do have several issues heading into the downtown area, including some slowdowns here on I-65 heading southbound towards West Street and MLK due to a crash blocking several lanes as you're heading to this area. So we have some backups and slowdowns all the way back to 38th Street. So drivers on the north and northwest sides, just be aware of that this morning. As Todd's been saying, we have really wet roads, something we haven't had in a while here across central Indiana. So use caution and give yourself extra time as you're leaving today. Of course, we'll keep you updated.
Of course, we'll, as Lauren mentioned, we'll keep you updated on this developing story throughout the morning. And for years, he kept it a secret from the millions of fans of the Backstreet Boys around the world. Coming up today on Good Morning America, A.J. McLean opens up about his drug addiction and his journey to recovery. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Good morning on this Monday. Of course, the top story on this morning is your weather. Meteorologist Todd Clausen will have your forecast in just a moment.
Yeah,
Lauren?
Raphael, but first we got to take a look at that messy Monday morning commute. As the rain is coming down, I'm monitoring several trouble spots right now. Several of these, as you can tell by our map, centered around the downtown area on those interstates. So let's take you up here first to I-65 as you're heading southbound, heading towards MLK. We have 3 lanes blocked for a crash cleanup. The backup there stretching back to 38th Street, so give yourself that extra time. Be prepared to slow down. We have 2 crashes heading into the North Split. We had that overturned semi blocking that ramp as you're heading southbound on I-65, so you'll need to use the collector ramp instead. And just before that, as you're heading past Rural Street, we have another crash blocking a left lane, so that is creating a little bit of a delay. Down here at the South Split, we had that overturned semi, so it's blocking a left lane. The cleanup northbound I-65 near Morris Street. You'll need to stay out of that left lane, and that's causing some issues as people are getting on this ramp from eastbound I-70 at the South Split, heading onto northbound I-65. You'll need to shift right out of that left lane, so be prepared to merge in that area. We also have a report of a vehicle in the ditch just south of downtown as you're traveling northbound on I-65 at Raymond Street. Todd, things could be slick out there because we haven't had this much rain in a while.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think the rain is probably leading to quite a bit of these accidents across central Indiana. We're not used to one driving in rain like this. It's been a while, and a lot of dirt and grime on the roads create slick conditions. We have leaves out there as well, so just give yourself some extra time. The steadiest and the heaviest of the rain continues to fall right now from Seymour to Greensburg. It's light but steady, though, from Indianapolis all the way to Richmond. And then as you work your way to the north, you notice it tapers off. So the steady rain will move through this morning, but we'll still have scattered showers in the forecast throughout the entire day. So have the rain gear handy. More scattered showers through midday tomorrow before we get a break. Thursday is the best day of the week, Lauren, with sunshine and a high of 81.
All right, no sunshine right now. Todd, here's the rain coming down again at I-65 near West Street and MLK. Don't forget, we'll be back in 25 minutes and throughout your morning here with your local news, weather, and traffic updates. Everything can also be found on the WRTV mobile app. Give yourself extra time this morning. Use caution and have a safe Monday.